No, I haven't gone. It hasn't worked out. We thought about it. We wanted it.
Come on.
But my master originally wanted to do a trip in December. I don't know. It wasn't working out.
They need some spenders there.
They need some spenders? No, we can spend from here. You know, they need that. Over there, you're going to give them more spirit, hizuk, more than the money. The money you don't send. The money is wire. Where you go in the south? You say
no, it's mainly the south. No, but the idea is to meet ladies that the husband serves in the army. They didn't need your money. They couldn't care about your cake.
They need your heart.
They need your ear. We met with four wives and the husbands are serving. Okay, so me and this people are talking. And maybe one of them starts to cry. Why are you crying? Everyone talks about the people in captivity. Nobody thinking about me.
Right.
And the idea is to listen, not to give your penny advice. You understand? You want to say
go for service, Rabbi?
What?
The army, how long everyone goes to
It
service?
depends on which
Depends on the
which
age
unit,
also.
depends on which unit are you serving. Because to give an example, the first day they came, Larry is here, he came this morning. He was on the trip. Larry, good morning, welcome back.
I'm really happy to see you, Rabbi Prague, because now I know you made it for Shabbos.
How was he went to an army camp on Shabbat? He and Steve went to an army camp. How was it there?
And Eli, it's something. Eli is something to behold.
Yeah.
Eli is something.
Soldiers that are aiming to go to elite units for a year to train you to be a good soldier and a religious soldier, not a soldier that. This is the idea. It's like a yeshiva. Those boys are not going to yeshiva just there. So he and Steve went to Shabbat for the Shabbat.
Rabbi, I was in Florida last week. They had a father whose son was a soldier, kidnapped and killed on October 7th. So he came and he spoke. No, the way he spoke, it was something you can't even. They found the son decapitated. He was one of the ones, and until he went and he did, and he found part of the head. He was able to get it, and then what's he on a mission on? To give out tefillin to any soldier who wants it. So he connected the head with were you there when he spoke Shabbat?
No, I went to the early one.
Oh, you were there. No, he was unbelievable.
So we went to a base where they identified the bodies, the first time. And he takes it to another building and he shows us hundreds of Sifrei Torah. Some of them have holes in them from sharpeners. So he says the reason we never had so many requests for Sifrei Torah at this time, every army base. I mean, this is
understand why at the end just was.
Rabbi, we are supposed to be the light to the people and they have to follow us. How come that 127 countries, none of them votes for Israel? I mean, it's something that
Joseph is asking how come no one is voting for us.
Sometimes it's not popular to be on the right side.
I know, but everybody on the other side.
One follows the other. That's the truth. One guy, you're afraid to stand up to a bully, and everyone just goes along with it. That's history.
The Argentinian president.
They're gonna shut.
You meet people there that are just. We went last night in the West Bank to a village called Talmon.
They make a lot of.
Someone lost a son, and we went to pay a shiva call.
Like they think
you went? They're still in the shiva.
Right. It was. And you go and I have to go in my own country in a bulletproof vehicle.
I don't know if it's enough to
You mean Talmud is near the border somewhere?
Right, yeah, you see signs from Amali, you see signs from Berzit. You just, like the Rabbi Prague, the love of Eretz Yisrael that you see from these boys. We had Shalosh Shudas with them last night, and we had learning with them a couple of times over the. And then there was one group that comes for Shabbos. That is a caravan. That the homeless in New York wouldn't live in such a place. And they're so happy with love of Israel. It's just.
Rabbi,
Rabbi, you went through the other wars. Was there ever a call for tefillin and religious articles
No,
like this?
no,
And why is this war different?
Why? Because everyone realized that everything you believed in 75 years went to the garbage.
Right.
Sahel went bankrupt, the government bankrupt. I mean, we spoke, Kalani is a general. He spoke to us. Now he started. Remember, he is not wearing a kippah. He is not so like he said, do you know the pasuk by Ishman, Yeshua, by Ibaat?
He's quoting.
That.
I mean, he said it. I mean, I was shivering. He was a general.
Yeah.
He says, we really
got
believed in ourselves too much. We took it. And
So this is going to war than any other. They lost
it's not,
faith in
it's
everything.
basically,
They lost faith in
it's
everything.
basically,
But you know-
we lived in something.
Rabbi Eli told us he was on the south border a few years ago, and they took him to the control room. And they said, look over here on the radar, he saw something moving a little bit. He said, what is that? He said, no, that was a caterpillar. So they told him, we can see a caterpillar if it crosses the border line. And over here, the
That's a reason.
no, we know that, but I think that's what
It's forcing,
that's
it's
why
for
Yishma
Eli.
Yeshua B'Yib'as. They
It's
thought they
forcing
could do everything
people to
without the-
refute the core belief. This is really right. So,
But Rabbi
But-
Prague,
well, inspiring to see thousands.
Rabbi Prague, tell them the story about the Nova person.
Yeah.
You want me to tell or you want to tell it?
What do you say? You say. They said,
So he went down to where the Nova Festival was, and we had the privilege of meeting one of the young men who was at Nova, who came back for the first time. And
First
this
time after 152
is the
years.
first time since this happened that he talked about it. And as he was talking about it, it couldn't be from a movie set. All of a sudden, the Israeli army is shelling, but not one,
This is 2
Right.
miles from Gaza. Go ahead.
shooting and shooting. And he tells the story, and you could see that he's playing it in his head over and over and trying to make sense of it. And then he finishes, and he says, and this blew I'm sure Rabbi Prague, I know Rabbi Prague. He's Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Olam She'asa li nes b'makom hazeh. Boom.
You realize that the guy is, no, but for us, he was a symbol of this war. The man was completely confused. Couldn't put A and B together, of course. It drove on Simchat Torah Shabbat,
Right,
cancer. No, but.
And then we met Rabbi Landau, the head of Zaka, who Rabbi Prague knew or asked to speak to
Didn't
us.
know.
Yossi Landau?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The head of Zaka, yeah.
Oh my God, what he's seen. He said he came back after being in Gaza at the beginning. He wasn't able to hug a child or a grandchild for months. He was so shocked, and we didn't even hear, and he wouldn't tell us the bad things, maybe.
But he saw.
We saw him in Israel one night, and he said, he was really shaking. He said, I said, what are you doing? He says, I couldn't go home. I slept in the fields one night. I just couldn't go home.
They had Zaka last week in Florida. One of the guys
They had
called
one guy, I
Greenberg.
saw him in the airport.
And he said that how many of them need counseling? The people that
All of them.
What
What
they
they've
need counseling. What they sing, they can't.
So we met a father of a soldier, a religious father that lost his son. His son was patrolling the ocean in Gaza, and 3 Hamas boats attacked him. Says his friends realized that they're outnumbered, that they ran to says my son just shot their head
He killed as many as he could.
and they left his body, and he was the first one to die and the first one to be buried.
Wow.
Because Nes Gadol Haya Sham and another group of Israeli soldiers so badly.
Then we met somebody he had 2 sons in the army. One son got shot and has a bad injury, but he came home and they're able to work with it. And the other brother is missing. And in between that first son getting shot, he had already been engaged to be married. And you saw this father tell the story of how he made a wedding for this son and on the flip side had his other son in captivity. And and his belief in the state of Israel and his belief in what he does is unparalleled, unmatched. It's just, it's overwhelming. Soldiers, and you give a hug. Ask Rabbi Prague, he gave a hug to a soldier. They can't leave go, and I will tell you, they appreciate, and they don't know, they appreciate everything we do for them. It's just too much to take.
We met. This really symbolizes everything. Says, you see this jacket? I
Yeah.
always had to run. I didn't stop wearing it except giving it every few weeks. And why am I wearing it? Because I hugged so many soldiers that I believe that this is kadosh.
Wow. Wow.
So he gave us an example. He took out his iPhone and he says to someone, how many WhatsApp I have? I have 1,200 calls. I mean, he says every 24 hours. See, this is the example of questions people ask you, you know. Shema Tov, a woman calls him up and says, Rabbi, his name is Rabbi Rimon. Says, Rabbi, תקשיב טוב, my husband is in Gaza. I can talk to him every 2 weeks because you know if you're in Gaza, you cannot talk on cell
They
phones
take your phone.
because they can ride away.
Right.
They
the-
track
the
you.
track-
They track you like that.
Anyways, what's your question? Me and my husband were trying to have children for a long time. We couldn't. I just found out that I'm pregnant. תשמע, תשמע. So the rabbi is excited. He says, Mazal tov, Mazal tov. What's your question? What? No.
He's fighting the husband.
Listen to a Jewish woman that you ask herself, who raised this woman? Tishma, what's your question? She knows from Parashat Shoftim that in a real milchama, some soldiers have to go back because if you think about your vineyard or about your wife, your mind might be distracted. Am I permitted to tell my husband that I'm pregnant? Because, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, who raises these people? And the rabbi tells it to us, and he says, what would you say? What would you say? What would you say? Okay, so
If he can't come home, I wouldn't tell him.
each one really gave a different answer. The rabbi says, I'm a rabbi. I have to give the woman an answer on the phone. So I told her like this, look, if you're going to tell it to him while you're crying from excitement,
Out.
he says you have to start to cry now. Do this for 2 days. When you call him up, say it excitingly. The rabbi says, even though I cannot really read my own WhatsApp, but a husband somehow called me up and he said, thank you for giving this advice to my wife. It made my day and I'm really...
Wow.
But can you imagine a woman asking
Question
the
you
question?
gotta ask.
The most intimate excitement a woman can
Rabbi,
have
you
is...
can't go to a rabbinical school for those questions.
This is the
See,
point.
that's it. You can learn for
What
all your life. That's not a
the rabbi
question.
was trying to show us is exactly...
What was the point of waiting for 2 days to tell him?
No, because this way, cry out, speak with your emotions to your mother, to your father, but to your husband, be super
Just show him
excited.
happiness. Don't show him.
This way, when he gets it, of course, he'll be emotional, but to see the...
Because if she's crying and that my husband's not here, how's he gonna feel?
Yeah.
You know, that's-
But you see a story like this for me shows you the type of people we have. This is
Almost every soldier that we saw in the hospital wanted to go back. We had a soldier here that had 5 or 6 operations. He didn't lose any limbs, but he had 5 or 6 operations recovering. He said, I just want to go to Lebanon. It just, you never saw it anywhere else in the world. People, soldiers that are hurt, they can't wait to go back. They'll go with an artificial leg, an arm, or something. They want to go back.
the person that he mentioned before here, this is the fellow. This is his father lost a son. Take a second. This is the kid that was killed. What did the father put on this? You know, what is more letodah, riula Hashem, kol haaretz, do it Hashem. This is his son. He says, I raised a kid. I hope to see him getting married, building a family. But if this is what God wanted, it's easy for me to say over. The father is talking to us. He's saying, here, do what Hashem is in.
Yeah, he just said, be happy. There's nothing we could do. God gave me a gift. I mean, it's like easy to repeat with the words. He sits there and he's not sitting in Yerushalayim. He's sitting in a settlement and he says that Hashem gave him a gift for 21 years. We used it for 21 years, and then someone lives 80 years, and you can't explain it. But what you do is you go forward. But Rabbi Prague, if you had seen the learning in the different part of Eli this Shabbos, you got to see these boys.
Yeah. You realize this is boys that are going to the army next year. But
And then the people who live there,
train them how to be mamash, to be sincerely religious, not make believe.
you come into shul and everybody has a gun at their foot. Not everybody. Either they have a pistol in their back pocket and they're sitting there with davening with a rifle, and there's no talking and there's no joking. They are so focused and they're not afraid of anything. They're sitting there surrounded by Arab villages, and they go and they start with a little hilltop here, a little hilltop there.
The next,
You know, our organizer has a lot of connections, so he took us to the place where one of the elite unit practices. It's called of the van. I mean, he said, don't take any pictures here. This is, but says, why am I doing it? The guy just gone aloof. He's a brigadier general. He says, listen. He says, I'm telling my soldiers, I ate a few days ago cookies baked in Los Angeles. And a little girl wrote to me a note. Says I took the note and I hung it on the wall. To think that people in Los Angeles are thinking about us is giving us, not that he showed us interesting film that he took in Gaza. I mean, they built over there a tunnel similar to the tunnels of the Hamas. This is how they train you.
Oh, the Israelis built a tunnel.
Israeli, no, after they. The point is, Steve, him and myself played by the Hasidei Boyan. They say Avinu Malkeinu, as I say in Rosh Hashanah, you understand? Avinu Malkeinu, I mean, they say it. There are thousands out there. It's not we Americans. If you live it and you feel it.
That's why the rabbis stopped it here, because they were saying.
I don't know, they stopped it. It became like Hallel Yom
That's what I'm
Ha'atzmaut.
saying. So that's why they stopped it. Yeah, because there wasn't.
But what's going to happen to this army people that went for a year there? It's going to be all they're going to have psychological issues. All this youth, the whole generation.
Listen, it forces everyone, especially in the religious community, to rethink. What are we doing? Which type of a nation are we? You realize there is the same politics in the government. It's like nothing happened.
Israel, the state of Israel is depending on the mouth of America.
Right.
Do they care what America is saying? Or they don't care?
They're collecting money from America every day. The biggest beggars in the world is the state of Israel. The airplanes, the money.
No,
Israel cannot exist without America. What can you do? So where is the fine line?
Yeah, but don't forget, the Israelis also have the technology, so you have to see how it plays out. They need each other. Put it this way.
But this is why.
The hand that feeds you is.
But this is why we cannot really say what the government should do. We don't know anything. We have an idea what the pressure.
Behind the scenes, you don't know any of the pressure
I'll
that
tell you
comes
one thing I've read, that they are now making a lot more of their own arms. And
I mean,
things.
the only solution is
they're not gonna be
to do it.
They're not going to allow themselves to be blackmailed again.
I know you cannot survive 6 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months.
Whatever, but they'll do their best.
Look at Ukraine now; they are crying for arms.
If Israel's not in the same situation, you don't hear about them being short about bullets and things like that.
Like 73 war, after 1 week, Israel had no more.
Nixon had
60 years ago.
I know, but still,
I haven't read one thing where they're running out of munitions or anything.
Come, open a second, Siman. Guys that have coming up for us is the heart. If you see it, you hear it, it stays with you. And it should affect us in many ways, yes? Come, Siman Nun Chet. Seif, Noach Seif Vav. Yes, I have it right there. No,
Which book, Rabbi?
Siman Nun Chet Seif Vav. You know, when we went to the place where they identified the bodies and etc., so one of the officers, commanders really, says to me, look, they take now Gemarot, release the body to 10, and print every, let's say Baba Kama is 117, 10 fleets.
17
He said
pages.
there are thousands of soldiers asking us to learn. He gave me samples. He gave me the.
I mean, in Israel, are they talking about the failure? Just curiosity. They're not talking about it in public.
No, everyone,
but
everyone
the
knows.
security failure, are they talking about it? Or they're still also in
Every-
Israel, they're not
the
talking about it?
liberals are putting it in the media every day. I mean,
But we don't hear about it here. In
That's
the news, we don't
not-
hear
No,
about it.
but they've been doing started their investigation.
Of
and stuff.
course,
They
of
are.
course.
So they have, I mean, it was a
They are.
total failure of national security.
Yeah, but first Netanyahu was saying, well, wait
Yeah.
until we start the.
Like
now
they're
they
waiting till it's.
No, and
over.
but I'm just saying, in Israel, do you see a difference?
I mean,
Like,
we didn't see anything. We just met people that are still in it. But people are smart not to think about it. What's the point of pointing fingers now? My husband is there. My son is there. I'm sure that some people.
That was the worst thing. One of the worst things happens now. They've lost faith in the government.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is.
I think we think that we don't know. In 72, they said the same thing for Golda Meir. She had to let the Arab attack. And here, these tunnels, they would never let them do anything to the tunnels. 1,400 people died. They let them do it. But now Israel had 4 or 5 months to clean up. Otherwise, after 2 years, these people, they would have invaded the whole of Israel. And
That was their
the
plan.
world would never, America would never let them do it.
Look, one of the people you went your Kfar Aza, a guy that took us from house to house.
Yeah,
He says to us, see, I know the people here, slaughtered, killed, here.
Everyone.
He somehow, he and his wife and his 2 children will survive. Why, didn't you have a gun with you? We didn't believe in guns. The reason we live here, we didn't believe in it.
we didn't believe in.
No.
Guns.
But also, I told you the government.
In
That's the
principle, I
Palestinians.
didn't have a gun because we live near France.
The Palestinians.
Yeah.
A year earlier, the government took away all the guns.
They consider the Palestinians their friends.
No, man.
Yeah, but you know what's very interesting is
That's what
the amount of hatred. Like we didn't meet Arabs sitting there that we could talk to, but by their actions in Kfar Aza, anybody who acts like I understand the war where an army fights a war with another army. It's unfortunate. But when you see the out and out Amalekite of these people, that the people that have stand from Zaka for hours picking up blood and they're not finished, and the houses. This isn't normal hatred. This is a hatred on steroids, and it's really frightening. And it's really frightening. It's not going to go away anytime soon either. It's not going to get better, and it's scary to watch. You go down block of houses where they just came for no other reason, just to kill.
Those people took your kids to college.
You got both. Yes, there was a separate invitation.
Here, the father of this boy, the father of this boy says to us, I went to my garage to fix my car. The owner of the garage told me that an old Arab, old man in the 50s, worked for him for many years in there, fixing cars.
Arab Israeli?
No, an Arab from Gaza. He came every day. This is 15 minutes from the border. He says on Wednesday, before Simchat Torah, he came to me. He says, listen, I have to pay someone 3,000 shekels. Can you lend me? I gave it him, of course. And he borrowed from another one 2,000.
Because he knew that he was never going to pay it back.
By Thursday, didn't come back, and by Friday, Shabbat. Not to show you, the man, I said, worked for me for 20 years. I treated him like a brother.
And Emunah, and Rabbi.
So they knew I thought it was very secretive. Nobody knew about it. From the
Tens of thousands knew this was planned for
No,
months.
that's what he's saying. The guy borrowed money from the people he knew they were going to get killed.
But the Arabs that were working, coming to work, were reporting all the little nuances of the movements and things. Who was there? So
Rabbi, my father told me in 1948, he remembers, he was young, he says the Arabs that they lived next to in Halab, before the state of Israel, who they were best friends with, once Israel had a state, all of a sudden the guy who you knew all your life changed on you. Now all of a sudden you're not under me, you have your own state, it became a different, history repeats itself all the time.
Come, let's learn something. The topic we're going to discuss now is Brachot Kriyat Shema. Remember the name, Brachot Kriyat Shema. Every Siddur has Seif Vav. אף על פי שזה מנה נמשך עד סוף השעה השלישית. You can say Shema every day till the end of the third hour. So where is the end? If you follow Magen Avraham, it's a little earlier. Yesterday, Magen Avraham was 8:41, and Agra later, fine. אם עברה שעה שלישית ולא קרה, you got up late. קורא אותה בברכותיה כל שעה רביעית שהוא שליש היום.
Up until the fourth
So
hour.
listen carefully. A young kid got up this morning at 10, right? Praying, saying Shema, and says, Ahavat Olam, Ahava Rabba. Why? If the brachot are brachot and the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema,
You lost the time.
Kriyat Shema is over. Why is it saying the brachot? Look again. אף על פי שזמנה נמשך עד סוף השעה השלישית, אם עברה השעה השלישית ולא קרה, קורא אותה בברכותיה, only up to שעה רביעית. A teenager who got up this morning at 11:30, according to Maran, should skip from מלך מלכי העולמים, amen, till עמידה, go to עמידה. Say שמע, why? Because the זמן of קריאת שמע is over, זמן תפילה is over, according to רבי יהודה, it's מרן מפורש, עד שעה רביעית. ואין לו שכר בקריאת שמע, כקורא בזמנה, ואם עברה שעה רביעית ולא קרה, here, you got up at 11:30, you pray שחרית 11:45, pray שחרית, say שמע בלי ברכות. מרן, אוקיי.
Yeah, but isn't it also part
For
of the
Ashkenazim-
It could be part of the Amidah, the brachot.
So we are going to discuss why.
Yeah.
Why can you say the brachot at the fourth hour? Look at the Mishnah Berurah.
So we did it.
שעה רביעית, look at this, כ"ה, שעה רביעית, וברכות אינם שייכים לקריאת שמע. Even though the name is ברכות קריאת שמע, but they are not שייכות לקריאת שמע. ואף על פי שנתקנו קודם קריאת שמע, even though text-wise it's written a name ברכות קריאת שמע, says the רשב"א, בכל מקום, לאו ברכת קריאת שמע. It's not really ברכת המצוות. שהרי אינו מברך אשר כמצוותיו וציוונו לקרוא שמע. So here he explains that even though the name is ברכות קריאת שמע, and you say before, it's really part of the tefillah, and this is why you can say it after.
So they're part of tefillah.
Why
not
can't
Kriyat Shema.
you say the next 2 hours?
Because if you have machloket, but you could say the Amidah.
Since Maran said that you can say the Amidah, so why don't you say the
That's what I'm saying. It should be, according to this reason, you should be able to say till 6 hours, till Hatzot.
So according to Rabbi Yehuda, you can say.
No, but halacha is that you could pray Amidah till Hatzot.
You can say to the Chatzot. You see that, yeah, we have to find a compromise.
Finding a safek.
But look what he's saying now. The Afar Pishali, remember, all the rule of Safek is a rule only, there's no Safek. Rabbi Yehuda says, till
No, but maybe the safek is
Yeah,
that maybe the
Afal
Amidah.
Safek, yesh al
maybe
mi-
the
yesh al-
Amidah
yesh
is
al
a-
mi l'smoch.
No, but maybe the Amidah is a what's it called? A nedava. So therefore,
but
you
it's
got to
not,
say that
Eli,
up until the 12th hour. maybe-
Eli, no one said that the Amidah after the 4th hour.
If you're not holding like the half.
No, we know when you learn the Gemara, we're talking about Shulchan Aruch. Yes. No, but this is the point. This is the point. You're right. If you learn the look a second.
But where do we learn that you have to have, where did the Birchot Kriyat Shema appear from?
In a minute we will say that the Ramban disagrees with the Rashba and Rabbi Yonah disagrees with Rabbi Gaon. The question is, where is the compromise? This is what he's saying clearly. The Shulchan Aruch follows the Rashba. It's not Birkat HaMitzvot Bechlal. It's only Birkat Shevach. You name it, Birchot Kriyat Shema, because it's written before Shema. Look a second, it's Siman Peitet. Now he Peitet.
Got it.
Peitet, Seif Aleph. Here he said that maybe from 4 to 6 is like a davar because the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Let's see the Shulchan Aruch.
Zman tfilat hashachar.
זמן תפילת השחר מצוותה שיתחיל עם הנצח חמה. The best time to pray in the morning is נצח חמה. This morning, 6:35, whatever. דכתיב יראו חיים שמש, ואם יתפלל משערה עמוד השחר, ואיר פני המזרח, יצא.
That's
If you
bedi'avad.
pray, yeah, okay, this is to pray before that, ונמשך זמנה עד סוף 4 שעות שהוא שליש היום. שולחן ערוך
This is the
openly,
Amidah now.
כן, כן, שולחן ערוך openly follows רבי יהודה, that שחרית is up to the 4th hour. ואם טעה, ואם טעה, הוא עבר בהתפלל אחר 4 שעות עד חצות, in the additional 2 hours, אף על פי שאין לו שכר כתפילה בזמנה, שכר תפילה מהעיר.
So it's not bedi'avad. It's just, you're not getting zmana. You're getting prayer, but you're not getting it the right time.
You are losing part of the power of tefillah. So see, this is
Now
the
you
Yeah, I don't getting knocked out.
I have
I
to
don't getting knocked down here.
no, you pray only once.
No, but if it is
Well,
counted,
with white gloves.
No,
Huh?
If you did not
So
pray
he
all,
showed us in
then you pray them
4 to 6
twice.
is nedavar.
Yeah.
Here it prays today, 11:30. 11:30 is exactly what he's talking about. So he says, okay, you're losing the
Zmana.
zmana.
But
And
you're getting credit for tefillah.
right, so you see that the question really is,
I
if
have to tell you
Friday,
something. You know the biggest problem is, I remember growing up, they never taught us these rules. I woke up, I remember one time, 4 o'clock, pray Shacharit regular. When you start teaching them these rules, if you wake up late, don't pray to get that, they throw out the whole
right,
tefillah.
right. This is the reason why they never teach it
They
to
never taught,
teenagers.
they don't teach it us, just pray. But yeah, no matter what time it is, just pray.
This is the right way.
Eventually, you'll get zamana, you'll get everything.
So obviously the brachot of Kriya Shema are not Ma'akev then.
No, the question is, if the Shulchan Aruch tells me that b'diavad I can pray till 12:30 today, why don't I say brachot Kriyat Shema also? He told us beferush in Siman Vav that you don't say, which means Melech Alchei Haolamim Amen Shema Amidah. Why? If you're telling me that you can pray b'diavad till where is the fine line? It's very difficult to understand.
Cut the praise from 5 minutes to 2 minutes.
Yeah, David, this is the question. That Friday morning I landed was 6:20, and I realized that the sunrise is about 15 minutes. I put it free first. I'm sorry, I'm mixed up now. Give me a minute. I'm sorry. When we took off from Israel was 6:20. Sunrise was 6:40. So I put my tefillin right away. Fine. I figured at least, yeah, it's fine. 15 minutes into the flight, it's dark again. Now for the next 4 hours.
Oh, you're flying away from the sun.
I'm driving. Am I obligated when you landed to say no, to pray Shachrit?
Again.
No, you had this question.
So why did you pray Shachrit? You left Friday morning, Israel?
I left Israel at 6 o'clock in the morning and I landed here at 11.
No, 6 o'clock in the morning, you were delayed?
No.
Oh, that's the flight.
I left Israel at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is 11 in New York. We landed in New York.
So he was hayav to pray, but then he landed again Friday morning.
So it got dark, but he landed again, but it's still Friday.
Yeah, it's still Friday.
So it's not another day.
So my driver in New York says to me, but if the night that you drove into the Thursday night, at least you are not chayav for sure.
Oh, you didn't fly into Thursday night.
What? So I did. Otherwise, why is it dark? Again, in Israel now, the sun is rising on a Friday, correct?
You probably stayed in Alot the whole time.
It's 5 hours of total
You flew in
darkness.
Alot most of the time, I would say.
so what you prayed again
You're
here?
the Alot
No,
shot
I
on
did not.
72 minutes, you have to go back an
Did
hour.
you say Shema again just to be
Nowadays,
sure?
my guess would be-
No, but the Shema was, when you landed in America,
You
it was
took
already
off.
11, so
Oh.
I missed Shema anyway.
No, but on the
But
plane,
there
the question.
but there must have been a time on the
landed
plane.
here 11 in the morning, right?
Yeah,
What?
it's,
Yeah,
11 in the
yeah,
morning.
exactly.
For sure, you're
What?
flying in more of Alot the whole time.
Interesting. Anyway, now,
I never even heard of flight like that.
I never heard that time.
Yeah,
that's
flight,
a-
you usually leave
I
Thursday night after 1 o'clock and you get here Friday morning.
Since the owner of Halal, he's a religious guy, the last flight, it leaves to make it on time, B'Lad Chol Shabbat,
It's
6
6 a.m.
no flights leaving too long distance. Flight.
I don't think they ever had that flight before.
I had that.
I had a flight
Friday.
It was full, it was full.
Now there's only one flight.
Usually that's
Now listen, listen.
5 o'clock later.
Now, so listen,
So Rabbi,
listen,
you knocked me out, okay, I accept it.
listen again now. So the question was, if Shulchan Aruch is telling us that the Brachot Kriyat Shema is really part of Tefillah, and therefore I can say it up to the 4th hour, why not until the 6th hour?
Right.
This is A.
Right.
B, listen to now, this is a real question. I mean, the other one is also, but here. Look a second.
So, Rabbi, are you saying that in Pei, what we just read in Pei, whatever, Pei, that means a person theoretically should only say the Amidah?
Yeah.
When he
He
says,
says openly, say, Melech Elchei Olamim, Amen, Shema, Amidah. So what do we do? What do all of those teenagers who are getting up late to? We'll come to it in a minute.
Rabbi, start from Korbanot. Say,
Okay.
don't even start from Korbanot. Go to Patah Eliyahu.
Say
You
about
You don't wanna mix up these teenagers.
I'm
No,
telling you,
can't.
the worst thing you could do is teach them out of order.
Yeah.
Teach them.
We have a
order.
lot of things we don't teach out of order, just so, because you don't want people to get confused.
Now look a second at your question. Look a second in the Biur Halacha. Biur Halacha says like this.
Which siman are we in?
Korah belo birchotea.
No, which siman?
Oh, but go back to Nulchet. Then I'll give you another question. Nulchet.
Korah right here. Page Resh Nun Daled.
Siman Nulchet. The last Biur Halacha, Larry, Biur Halacha. Siman Nulchet, yes. Korah belo birchotea.
This is going on what, Rabbi? It's going on.
Remember, he says that if you pray Shachrit after the 4th hour, Korah,
That's
says
Shema.
Shema, belo birchotea. Ayen b'Mishnah Berurah. Now please listen good now. ואף שדעת הפרי חדש, כדעת הרמב"ם, שלא נתן קבע לברכות, which means according to him he said ברכות all day, כבר פסקו רוב האחרונים, כמעט כולם, כדעת הראש, והטור והשולחן ערוך. Now, ועיין,
so Harambam says at 2 o'clock in the afternoon I can still do it?
זה ברכות קריאת שמע, yes.
Right, that's what he's saying.
זה בפירוש. בפרי חדש, פעלות הרמב"ם. ועיין בתשובת משכנות יעקב בסימן ע"ז, שדעתו נותר להכריע בדיעבד עד חצות. See? Against the שולחן ערוך. שולחן ערוך says, if you pray,
Who's Mishkenot Yaakov?
משכנות יעקב is one of the Ashkenazi poskim 200 years ago. כמו גבי תפילה. This is the question that we had before. He is saying, if you're telling me to say ברכות קריאת שמע up to the 4th, you can go, the Kaimalan, yes? בסימן פ"ט, שאם עבר זמן התפילה, אף על פי כן, מתפלל עד חצות, עדיין שם. Now the Mishnah Berurah is reluctant. Shulchan Aruch says this way. Rosh says this way. What should I tell you, me and you? ואפשר שיש לסמוך על זה לעניין, אם היה לו אונס, שלא היה יכול לקרוא את הברכות עד 4 שעות, אם מצאתי בספר מהריר, okay. So בדיעבד is מקל. All these people, as you said before, adults or teenagers who are getting up late, we never tell them not to say, not only teenagers.
Adults even,
Pray, because the minute you can cut, it's endless.
Once you teach a guy a shortcut, he never does take the regular route.
Because now, after you are real,
right or wrong?
a much more serious question now. Look a second here.
It's like to get into the tunnel, you know, they always make that illegal U-turn. Once you got used to, once you got the truck one time,
I don't have time to pray. I don't have time. So I just pray Shema to Amidah.
Right.
I figure work is the other way back.
Right.
Rabbi, my father used to pray in B'nai Yitzhak at one time, and there was a guy that came late every day, and he skipped all the whatever, and so he told me after a while, he goes, I understand you came late once, you came late twice, but you're doing it every day. He goes, no, I have a class. He was going to Rabbi Max. He told him, don't go to the class, you're doing Lechat Tehillah, you're skipping. This guy took the halacha, made it Lechat Tehillah. He goes, you pray early.
Look a second now. in the Shulchan Aruch and the following question.
What do you want?
Like father, like son.
Yeah. What do you know? You got 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and then you go every day.
Look a second at this halacha, just a minute. Are you saying amen after Bocher Babo Israel be'ava or not?
Amen to who? Somebody else?
Chazan, let's say.
No, you
Okay,
can do it in the
so-
middle.
No.
Let's see.
No, we say amen after Yishtabah, it ends amen.
Hold on, you have that app that tells you when to pray?
Yeah.
Who has the app that
You
tells
see
you
all
like,
things
you know,
What?
he has the app that
Yes.
tells
Yourself,
you
no.
when to pray, like when you're on the plane.
Unless
or
it's
what
part of
time.
text.
This is really.
Yes,
this is-
That those you say, but otherwise.
Because wherever the
No, you
choice,
don't
wherever you are.
So you have to put in the flight, the time, the airport.
Wow.
So the first
And
column,
this has an app.
Yeah.
Tells you.
The
The
first
first time
column.
allowed to give you the exact
You see the
time
top?
of praying based on whatever the
So if you're left-
How fast the plane
if you're left, this is leaving 6:10 in the morning. So it
Yeah,
says
right.
10 minutes.
My money.
You hit it 20 minutes, you hit this Olot HaShachar, right? It says there. But then after, if you leave 20 minutes later, you don't hit Olot HaShachar, then Zman Tefillah is the next column.
Remember, the El Al
First you have to
flight,
figure out how to use that.
the El Al flights have the exact times now based
Yeah,
on
yeah.
where the plane is.
Right,
When to pray on their
But this is
screen.
only
That's
the
it.
new owner took it over.
Yeah, it's
He's really,
amazing. It's
really
amazing.
setting it up for you.
Because otherwise, there's no way for you to
Well,
know.
Rabbi, maybe he should have the students make announcements.
If you left.
Time to pray, Alot HaShachar is coming.
If you left at 8:10, 20 minutes is sunrise, he would reach sunrise in 20 minutes. If he left
He
15
left at
minutes late.
6:10 though.
If he left
Just a
6
minute, I'm going to tell you what to do.
8 minutes would have been sunrise. If he left 6:40, he went to hit sunrise.
So he prays on time.
It would have been when he got.
So you end up
8
praying
hours
on
and
the plane in the
37
beginning?
minutes.
That's what he said.
Rabbi, at 6
If he
o'clock
leaves
you
what
pray
time?
on the plane?
The
The first 100, that could make a minyan?
He left what time?
I prayed, I knew that no one would make him in the end.
Then he has to
Later,
pray the
later it's
next
going
day.
to be done. I prayed in my seat.
So why you
No, he left
passing
early in the
to
morning.
do night, so how come that you're not obligated to pray again in New York?
Because,
It's the
okay.
same day.
It's the same day.
But
No, the
you pass the
question-
night.
Okay,
So
the
Rabbi,
night-
why didn't you wait for the night to pass a prayer?
Why?
Wouldn't it have been more logical?
For 2 reasons. A, I
Okay.
didn't sleep all night Thursday night, and I knew the minute I put my
You're gonna be
three
out.
on.
Okay, that's good, that's enough for me.
That's the practical.
And B, I saw I met a religious guy praying 4 hours later. It was dark outside. I couldn't tell him what he did.
No, I'm saying when you were about to land in New York, you landed at 11. So you could have prayed at 3 hours before
But it
landing.
was too
Oh, it was still dark out?
pitch
Ah,
black.
you didn't have any.
But
Yes,
it
at
turned,
the
it turned
point.
night, it turned day and it was 11 o'clock.
What?
It turned light and it was 11 o'clock.
More or
Light-
less, more or
light
less,
comes in
yes,
early.
yes. But you
I
understand?
like your first reason better, Robin.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
As
out.
it is, I fell asleep with it for a few times, but I woke up fast.
I don't know, but still, you have a choba right now, even though it's
That's
gonna
what I
get dark,
see.
get light,
This
you
is
have
the
a
main
choba
reason. I
now.
knew that right now I'm definitely good. I did it now.
Right, if you have a choba, you can't rely
Rabbi,
on
well,
that you're gonna get another morning,
Usually
maybe
when
not
we
be
leave
right.
to Israel,
I
right?
don't
So
know.
when he did
The
his
going
right
is a hard flight because you have to pray like 3 hours into the flight.
He left
When
enough.
you leave like 1 o'clock at night, it's hard because you have to pray Shaharit soon. You can't really sleep good, you know what I mean? Because you have the.
He right away goes into the.
Now listen, go now a minute to Siman Samach. Go a minute to Siman Samach Zayin. Siman Samach Zayin.
Rabbi, the Haramah makes the most sense to me.
Okay, I mean, this is a big topic with all the Rishonim. are big
Why not say
topics.
this? Oh, the Rambam,
Well,
yes.
Rambam
No,
just says
yeah,
pray,
Look a second, Siman Samach Zayin. ספק אם קרא קריאת שמע, חוזר וקורא. Fine.
Do it again.
מה זה הוא מברך לפניה או לאחריה?
The ברכות קריאת שמע, yeah.
Why?
Why you have to do it?
If you
Shema
take-
itself is the
If
oraita.
you take the Rashba that tells you that the brachot are part of tefillah, there's no room
There's
for
no
this
reason
halakha.
for that.
Right.
There's no room for this halakha no matter what.
No.
I already Kriyat Shema Deoraita. I have to say again. Why is the brachot? I mean, it's a
And then in the same
But
case, if
is-
you follow this, when you say Shema, say Shabbat morning, when we say Shema separately, right before we
Right,
pray,
we're
we
going
have to
to-
say brachot with the Shema.
We're going to discuss
Make it to the brachos, make it a kiyum, or do you need both?
in a minute. Yeah. Look a second.
Look,
Look a
we say
second.
once the rabbis established berachot lefaneha
You
v'achareha,
have to say.
then that became part and parcel of the oraita. You can't just go
I
into the
know,
Shema.
but since we
not true.
began in
no.
Simanul Chet, and he tells you that on Sha'ar Revi'it, when there's no Kriyat Shema anymore,
Say it.
say the brachot. Why? Because it's part of the tefillah. How can you say it here? So look at Mishnah Berurah over there.
In Aleph?
No, in Samach Zayin, yes.
Yeah, Aleph. B'sh'ar mitzvot deoraita.
קריאת שמע, ובשאר מצוות דאורייתא, היכא שמחויב לעשות אותם מספיקה. You're not sure if you had shofar or not, you're not sure if you put tefillin or not. פסק לאל בסימן י"ז סעיף ג' לעניין טומטום. A male who is not, it's not clear if he's a male or a female, עבד חייב בציצית. וביורה דעה הרי סמכי לעניין מילה ואמרו גנוס. וכן בכל כי האדם נדר לא יברך על המצווה, יונס.
Do it without a
לא
beracha.
יברך.
But do it.
ספק ברכות להקל, ספק מצווה דאורייתא. Now you have a contradiction. How come by ברית מילה you're telling me do it בלי ברכה? How come by שופר you say בלי ברכה? by ציצית בלי ברכה? Suddenly by קריאת שמע.
Oh, so you want to say berachot kriyat shema is like shehakol niyat
That's it,
baro?
that's it.
No, that's what he's saying.
That's it. And the reason why he said it over there,
כי
כי
ברכות
הברכות
דרבנן.
הם דרבנן וספקה
ספקה
לכולם.
לכולם.
So you Joseph, by Kriyat Shema is telling you if you're not sure, that's a man is a little confused, you know.
Even if it's part
Say
of
Shema again with the brachot. The question is, by shofar, if I'm not sure, I hear it again, beli bracha. By tefillin, beli bracha. Lulav, beli bracha. How come it's different? Shema is the office. It says like this. So, ach yesh poskim shemechalkim. Listen carefully what he says now. בין היכא שהספק הוא אם מחויב כלל בהמצווה. כגון האיש שכתבנו, if a man is either a male or a female, maybe you will never chayav to begin with. So therefore, if you do the brit milah, do it b'li bracha, because maybe you're not chayav. By kriyat shema, I'm definitely chayav. I have a safek if I fulfilled my obligation or not. Understand?
Why not in Brit Milah?
What?
No, this guy's not, he's a man-woman like.
Medically, we're not sure if it's a man or woman. Shulchan Aruch,
But if he could do a brit milah, that's not a thing that he's a man. I mean, I don't understand that. He has an eber, he has an
but
umrah,
this is what androgynous is about.
but he still has an eber. You're doing a maaseh.
Rabbi Tendler told his students in YU for many years that in Albert Einstein Medical Center there are many babies that are born that are going to be a problem. So they right away they do an operation and they decide male or female.
You can't decide the gender of the child until he turns himself, Rabbi. Come on. You have to let him decide his gender. What are you deciding for?
Yeah, you have to wait till he's born, yeah.
On the birth certificate, you can't put gender anymore.
His claim was.
And if he wants to play basketball.
His claim was that if she is really a female, they make her a male. It might be homosexuality if you have a relationship. This is what the classic.
I understand, but what's the criteria to go by? I mean, for us, it's easy now to say genetics. See X or X, Y.
Doctor decided based on, I don't know about the global, I don't
You know what I'm
what.
saying? You
not-
really have to have something intrinsic to
Like
make it permanent.
they're not doing it arbitrarily.
No, I understand.
He told them exactly, they have a guideline, a medical
Right.
guideline. It's a medical
In
guideline.
Long Island the other
Which
day,
means that
the
later
county
if you see a
executive
male-
came out and said that
Kid,
a biological man can't play in a woman's.
I understand, but actually, depending on the chromosome, would depend whether you can't just make a decision, then there would have to be hormones given throughout life and all those other things. If they change the, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole,
That's so they indirectly.
They started.
But they had a guy playing.
He tore the ball out of the G's head. He threw it like a rake.
6 girls got hurt.
Look further in the Mishnah Berurah.
And how they go like this when they grab the ball.
Look further in Mishnah Berurah. Look further in the Mishnah Berurah. If you take this interpretation, this is only if you ever safek, if you ever chayav. With the fize, he says, לולב או שופר ביום ראשון איכא דמספקא לה, אם כבר עשה המצווה, צריך לעשותה בברכה. If you take this interpretation,
Right.
only by Brit Milah,
Because we
not
weren't
sure
sure if he was
Chayav.
chayav.
The person who is definitely chayav, it's called chazakah.
Right.
You have a chazakah that you're definitely chayav, you're not sure if it is. וכתב הפרי חדף, כתב הפרי מגדים, ומכסף משנה בשם הרשב"א. וכן מרגן אברהם בשם הריבש, this is הלכות שופר, מוכר דלא סביר לו לחילוק זה, אלא תמיד בלי ברכה.
Right.
He says, the mitzvah is the oraita, do it again, the bracha. So now we have a problem. If you always do any mitzvah again, beli bracha, why is Kriyat Shema different?
Right. So he threw out that reason. The first reason
It was good.
didn't
So he
work.
answers, he says, גם האגרה בסימן זה מוכר דלא סביר עליה. So what is the reason? Everyone says what Jimmy said
can
before.
I say one thing, Rabbi?
Yeah.
Over here, he knows he did not pray Shema. In our case, not a question, did he pray Shema or not? He didn't pray Shema. He knows for that he didn't pray Shema.
לא, זה ספק אם קרא קריאת שמע חוזר, לא, מרן. ספק אם קרא קריאת שמע חוזר.
He's not sure he prayed.
The man is confused.
Yeah, he's not sure.
I'm not sure did I say it or not.
No, I wanted. Does it make a difference if he knew Vadai, he woke up late and he didn't? Does that make a difference?
Of course it makes a difference because then he's definitely chayav.
So no, why berchoteha? No, does it change our question?
But the main question here is safek.
Okay.
So, Rabbi, sometimes I read the text, but I know that I read by order, but I don't even remember that I said the Shema. Then what happens?
A good question, Joseph. The answer
Say
that
the first
all
one.
the rabbis are saying, if you know that you already know that, most likely you can't say for sure. You said it.
No, I know that I.
This is the answer. This is the answer. It's not you. It's many people. You do it for hundreds of times already. It's part of your routine. So most likely you did it.
So you don't have to repeat it.
Yeah. So Jimmy, the answer that people gave is what he said. That somehow Kriyat Shema was established with the brachot.
Right.
Again, it's like a puzzling.
No, but if you think about it, it's not like Shehad Kol. It's not. You can't tell me.
We understand, but
it's-
why Dafka? Anyway,
Why?
You should bring the comparison to Birkat Hamazon.
So let's go back,
I would say.
Rabbi. Where do
This
we?
is very similar to Birkat Hamazon. Somebody's not sure. You have a Doraita part. You have a Rabbanan part.
but over there, the mitzvah is the bracha. Here, the mitzvah is the shema. The brachot are
Where do
only
we-
accessories.
So no, I'm saying, accessories. Now you're saying. But so when Birkat Hamazon, if somebody's not sure if he said
He has to make all the bracha, including bracha Arabit. Yes,
everything.
yes, for
No,
sure.
look, they didn't make a separation.
Right.
No, over there it's a safek if you put tefillin or not. So we got the Amazon again.
Rabbi,
Yeah, but you
where
have the Rabbanan part. Should that
What?
mean you have a Rabbanan part of the Birkat Hamazon?
Okay,
So
so
say theoretically you should say you should not be saying that
you don't
part.
have
But I
Mishnah
know,
Bura Bet,
no.
but Mishnah Bura Bet says openly with the bracha Arabit.
Right, because they don't want to
Because
change people's
Birkat
ways.
Amazon is Birkat Amazon for brachot.
Where do we? What's the source that we have to say berchot lefnei Kriyat Shema be'acharei?
Okay, so now we're
Don't you have to
coming,
get to the source of where?
so we are coming now to the main question which Jimmy is raising. Here's the point. Remember, we read the Rashba, we're happy. But if you look, for instance, in the Ramban, in the beginning of Masechet Berachot, he says openly that Ahavat Olam, Ahava Rabbah is Birkat HaMitzvot, not Birkat HaShem. Birkat HaMitzvot and Kriyat Shema.
Ramban.
If you look at Rabbeinu Yonah, Masechet Berachot, he says, this is what he says. He says, if you pray the Arbit early in the summer, then you say Shema later, you have to say it with the bracha, Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, שקידישנו במצוותיו וציוונו לקרוא שמע.
Wow.
Says Rabbeinu Yonah, and my Rebbe said, which is the Ramban, told me, no, we never heard this bracha, but say Ahavat Olam again, because this is Birkat HaMitzvot.
We don't hold
We don't do that.
Baruch Hashem, because otherwise we'll be very confused. But this gives us, listen carefully. First you have to
So
know.
Rabbeinu Yonah was the student of the Ramban?
Mori, Ramban. Now here's the question, two questions. Question number one, Larry, is how can Ahavat Olam or Ahava Rabbah, Ashkenazim or Sfaradim, how can it be Birkat HaMitzvot al Shema? There's no hint. To Ishlama Birkat HaTorah, you talk with Tem B'Libeinu, Binah La'avinu La'askir. Listen carefully. Chabal, we need the Baal HaMaor in Masechet Rosh Hashanah. Tishma. Our custom is Paul is the Baal Tokea. You Tokea before Musaf, you make a bracha, correct? Everyone is יוצא.
That's the only beracha you make.
Then during עמידה במלכויות זיכרונות שופרות you blow again, חזרת הש"ס. Says the Baal HaMaor, only the Rishonim can say it. He says in the time of the Tanaim, they never blew shofar before Musaf. They never. Why? Because the main tkiot has to come with Malchuyot, Zichronot.
And I think it's in the Hazara even. Not in
Later, he says later when they realize that many people leave the shul early before Musaf.
No, they were also afraid of the people come to meet the army people.
People are weak, whatever. So they established to read before and the bracha.
To catch the 30, at least they get the hayub.
This is exactly.
So when did they say the beracha?
No, so this is.
They never said a beracha.
They never said a beracha?
No. After the Amoraim established to blow before Musaf, they established the bracha.
So what are you saying? The Rishonim did not beracha?
הוא אומר בפירוש. הוא אומר בדורות הקדמונים, you never blew before Musaf.
No, so what they do, just blow without a beracha?
Yeah, so now is my question to you. Start me asking. Everyone is asking, where is the bracha and shofar?
Right.
Shema tov. You see clear in Baal HaMaor, there is no din to say bracha shofar. If the mitzvah is done between one bracha and another, it counts as it. You have begat the mitzvah.
Repeat that, I'm sorry. The fact that you're saying you're in the Hazara.
Malchuyot is a bracha.
Right.
Since you blow right after Malchuyot, the bracha of Malchuyot covers the bracha and shofar, even though you don't mention the word shofar after.
Wow.
Let's go back to Kriyat Shema. It's not this. Kriyat Shema is exactly the same. Why is Ahavat Olam, Ahavah Rabbah counts as Birkat HaMitzvot? Before you say the mitzvah of Shema, you made the bracha. If אתה רוצה for you, since you are Kohanim, I'll show you something fascinating. By the way,
it's interesting. You're saying they didn't say beracha. There's a mahloket Ashkenazim and Sephardim. What beracha we say on the shofar? We say l'shmoa, right? They say, what do you say, Rabbi? You don't even say l'shmoa, right?
in the same.
You say l'shmoa?
Yes.
You do? I thought you had beracha.
In the same logic, they shouldn't say beracha for Kohanim.
Oh, you know what he says? Okay, I'm looking for the Gemara. The Gemara is not here. Can you find the Gemara Megillah Chavav Amud Bet? Chavav Amud Bet. Listen to the Gemara. The Gemara has a list. I guess it's not here. Chavav. Anyway, the Gemara has a list of many Tanaim. Bamei Arachta Yami. Why do you?
Oh, what? Yeah.
One of the answers is on the bottom. There are a few lines on the bottom. You have it? Chavav Amud Bet.
The one we always remember is Achalti Shalosh. I had 3 Sa'udot on Shabbat. That's a famous one that we remember.
Megillah Chavav Amud Bet.
Never said it.
One is I was someh geula l'tfilah.
Yeah, okay, the easy one.
Huh?
I am doing it also.
No, obviously, he did it on a different level than we did.
Another different level. And the difficulties today, it's see, no one ever mentioned it. Oh, thank you.
Was all the people.
You like Tishma, you like Tishma.
No.
I wonder. He wants to the death.
Why not?
Okay, it's fine. This. It's Chavav Amud Bet.
Yeah.
26b.
26b.
Rabbi, we say Kohanim in Musaf because all the people come late and listen Shachrit.
So I guess it's Chavzayin Amud Bet. I'm sorry, Chavzayin Amud Bet. No, go Chavzayin Amud Bet. So everyone is asking what you mentioned the Kat Kohanim. The Gemara says. No. Mishnah Shama? So it's Chafei Amud Bet. I'm sorry, I'm mixing you up. Chafei Amud Bet.
Cafe?
Chafei Amud Bet. Chafei Amud Bet. No, I thought it's Chavav Amud Bet. If Chavzayin is the Mishnah of, it's Chafei Amud Bet. No, it's good, that would be good.
If you're within 3 pages, we'll let it slide.
Thank you.
More than 3 pages.
Thank you.
With us, isn't it? Give him a break, he flew the.
No, it's not the flu, it's AIDS, it's AIDS.
He hung out with Larry too many days. See, Larry,
Not kidding. Poor Rabbi Prague. Poor Rabbi Prague. Stevie and me, that's enough to put anybody over the deep end.
It's not the right note, but it's there, I'm telling you, it's there.
It says here, Kat Kohanim mitrin below mit
All the way
tag.
down, I'm no man.
On the bottom.
Megillah. It's just for my kavod, I have to bring the Gemara.
Larry, you cannot find a guy.
Give me a minute.
I see,
we got him all whacked
Yeah,
out now.
computer.
Larry, what do you do to the rabbi?
Believe me, he has more strength than most of us. I can tell you, ever see the rabbi dancing with the chayalim on the army base?
Really?
Non-stop. It's like a marathon, man. I've never seen anything like it. It was great. Kanai Nahara, it was just unbelievable.
It was just the three of you, Larry?
No, we went with the yeshiva Flatbush. And then
Uh,
on Thursday, we did Rabbi Prague visit some family, and then we had the honor of, if you remember, Rabbi Prague's nephew was ill with the liver transplant. We got to meet the family and the young boy who was saved. Kanai Nahara, what a beautiful! You should see a family. It's great. We did all these wonderful things. It was it's almost like too much. But all right, listen, you have to pack it all in because it's just so little time. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Was that international news? Israeli news?
I don't have it all.
No?
I don't even know now.
Announced death of Sergeant Held. Yeah, I don't know how they figured. They must find DNA. They have to find a body part or something that they identified. Part of it that they identified the DNA.
Yep.
Hostage?
They say he just said he's
They died.
death of Sergeant Oz Daniel.
Body held in Gaza since
How we doing, Larry?
Hi, Ezra. Good to see you.
Likewise.
No, this guy that they brought Hazid's father to Florida last week, he found the son's body without a head. And then they went, I don't know how he got, and he paid people, and the Arabs told him that they took the head back as they took that.
27.
So they took the head back as like to get an extra bonus. That's why they. What are you doing?
Chavzai and Amud Bet.
No, it's something like barbarians wouldn't do stuff like this.
When my son was at the funeral,
Yeah,
the head,
yeah.
we're together with.
His name was
Rabbi Saul.
His name was Adir.
They got it back?
They brought the bag.
Yeah, they got the
head
bag back.
From where?
From Gaza. I don't know. He paid the guys. He found a way to get part of the head back. He said not the whole head.
Yeah, listen to the Gemara. כ"ז עמוד ב'. שאלו תלמידיו את רבי אליעזר בן שמוע במה ערכת הימים. אמר להם, אוקיי, ולא נשאתי כפיי בלא ברכה. He was a Kohen. Every time he did ברכת כהנים, every Kohen does it with ברכה. No, Joseph?
All these are the same kind of.
זה קושייה עצומה, באמת.
No, but all of them are the same because we have a hayub on all of them today.
It's a class. Yeah. What are you saying? So to be honest, one of the interesting.
Why can't you just say they didn't establish berachot yet?
One of the interesting answers is I told you once. There's a sefer called Cheshek Shlomo. He says he was in Italy. He was a very impressive man, Ashkenaz. They told him, "You say Birkat Kohanim, and all the Kohanim are going to say with you." So what he's saying is, "Lo nasati kapai beli bracha." I was never yotzeh with others. I said it myself.
Well, don't you have more lahem?
Never had a shalit.
But the more lahem is the question: can you do it or not? But shat b'milim.
I heard this in
okay, but anyway, says the Shagat Aryeh says, "Ma omeret haGemara." The answer is, they never established Birkat Kohanim because Birkat Kohanim is right after Atov Shimcha U'Lechanaya Le'odot. The same way that by Shofar, the bracha before covers, same way that Ahavat Olam covers for Shema, it's a ממש פשט בגמרא, yes? Until they realize that people misunderstand what goes on, so they establish the bracha. So it's the same idea. If the mitzvah follows a bracha before, but remember, as part of the text,
has to be part and parcel of
right,
the text. Not because you put it, not because you put it there. Not because you did it, yes.
By Kriyat Shofar, Malchuyot is part of the Shofar, okay? By Kriyat Shema, so let's go back here a year.
So this is the Ramban and Rabbeinu Yonah.
Which means that those who are saying that Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Berkat HaMitzvot, because it's a bracha before Shema. So now let's go back to all the questions we had. One question I didn't mention is, Shulchan Aruch says, don't say Amen after Abocher V'Amo Yisrael Be'ava. You listen to the Chazan.
Yeah, don't answer, yes.
Don't answer
Don't
Amen.
make
Why?
him sick.
Sick for what? Here's the question. If it's Chelek of the Tefillah, why can you say Amen to Yotzer HaMeorot and not al Ahavat Olam?
No, that's a break. Yotzer HaMeorot, Mechila. You have over there Kaddish. There's a Kaddish there.
No.
Oh, after, that one.
Again,
Before Ahavat Olam.
Shulchan Aruch says not to say Amen, it's Hefsek. If you say it's Berkat HaMitzvot, you understand why don't you say Amen. But if you say it's Chelek Min HaTfilah, like the Rashba, why don't you say Amen? It's It's an open contradiction in Maran. Maran is telling me I can say Ahavat Olam on the 4th hour, like the Rashba, because it's part of the Tfilah. If it's part of the Tfilah, why can I say Amen?
So why can't you say he took the kula from both sides?
Okay, so you have to say that
Maran wanted to make it easier, so he took the kula of the Rashba, he took the kula of the...
It's the only way to say that he took. Which means even those who say, the Ramban, and the Meiri, and Rabbeinu Yonah, it's Berkat HaMitzvot, it's not completely Berkat HaMitzvot. It's mainly Berkat HaMitzvot, or mainly part of the bracha. So this is why between the 5th and the 6th, because they are not so linear.
I'll give you a different way to answer. One time I asked the question, the Ben Ish Hai says that you shouldn't, on the holidays, the custom was to light a match. Over here, but you can't blow it out. So I asked one time, Rabbi Nahum says, the Ben Ish Hai says, don't follow Da'at Yahidi. I said, what? Da'at Yahidi? He's bringing me one opinion. He said, it was Lashon Sagina Hor. There's hundreds of rabbis who say you could do both. So he wanted to give you as a Humrah. So really, maybe Maran held like Harambam, you could say, and he took the Humrot of Rabbeinu Ramban and the Rashba.
It comes out like this. The machloket in the Rishonim is it mainly part of the Tfilah, but also Berkat HaMitzvot, or it's mainly Berkat HaMitzvot, or part of the Tfilah, but you must say that it's both.
What about if
I can't get past the morning thing.
you don't
Yeah, why
say
don't
the
we
case
say
of
the
the
Torah?
Torah,
Why?
because in
Because
Ahavat
it's
Olam.
Shachrit only b'diavad.
So how? That has to be this
Not only that, when you say Shema early, let's say in the morning, because we're praying Shabbat morning, right? We're going to start praying at 8:20. So I say Shema, and we're really fulfilling Doraita.
Why don't you say it with the brachot?
Yeah, that I can't get past.
Eli is adding another question. He says, in the morning, if you pray Shema early, why don't you say it with the brachot? Okay, so those who do it say, since you're doing it misafek.
What's Safek?
We're being Yotze.
No,
yesterday.
The reason why you're doing it earlier is
because this man's going to be
this
gone.
man is going to be gone, yes?
Right. So where's the Safek?
So where's the Safek?
Because Maran is telling, right? You're right. You're saying if you know for sure that you're going to be paid.
When we pray Shema,
We know for sure we're going to be
Right,
fed.
you mean if you know for sure that Shema is there. Right?
Maybe because we're going to catch the
Not
Gerah.
part of the Tefillah, maybe.
We'll catch
No,
the
but he's
Gerah.
asking according to
No, not all
Rashba,
the
it's part
time.
of the
It's not
Tefillah.
Not all the time.
Come back.
Yeah, even you will catch the Gerah even?
In the summer?
In the summer for sure you
And
catch
he's
it.
saying,
There's
you
Gerah's
know
10
for
times in
sure
the
you're
summer.
going to lose it.
The Gerah in the summertime?
No, it's not.
No, it's late. Very late.
No, in our green
No,
shoes,
it's the same,
you do the Shema.
It's
No.
4 hours. 4 hours.
4 hours, but the hour's much later.
We'll come back this way.
Rabbi, I have a question.
Yeah.
If we know if you don't say Birkat Torah in the beginning, you could have mahshava in Ahavat Olam to be Yotzeh.
Right.
If you're going to tell me it's Birkot HaShebach, how can I be Yotzeh on Birkot Torah If it's only a Berachav Sheva.
Right, but if you take the Baal HaMaor, it's perfect. It can be it's Birkat Torah and Birkat HaMitzvot and part of the Tefillah.
So you made it, you wrapped it all into one package.
Yeah, if you're taking the Baal HaMaor,
Sounds like a Syrian one. I just packaged the whole thing.
No, if you take the logic of the Baal HaMaor, any mitzvah that follows a bracha, and the bracha is part of the package.
You know, when the Syrians go to buy nuts, they don't tell the guy, give me a little pistachio.
No, we'll begin tomorrow.
Give me
Thank you, good to see you again, Rabbi.
Rabbi Prague, you made it, Baruch Hashem.
Thank you for your complete. Thank you for keeping me alive. I didn't fall asleep afterwards because of you.
Eli, you have here.
Hey, Baruch Hashem. They found it on the right street. Baruch Hashem.
All I wanted to tell you, I'll come to another time.
You know the saying or no? You
Have a
In other words, we have differentiation. That's why you have pistachio, you have adame, you have
Some was there,
this,
so
you have
at the same time,
Okay,
they
no,
put
so
Beit Torah.